So I know everyone loves Kim K's iconic look, so here's some tips to get some general Kim Kardashian makeup tricks. The main thing that Kim does is she just accentuates the eye. She really plays up her almond-shaped eye. And one of the other big things is lashes. Kim loves lashes, and she also likes these kind of piecey type of lashes. So that's what we'll do. So we're gonna start with the eyeshadow. We already primed, which is the first step. Next, we're gonna go in, I'm just gonna use a little bit of a light shadow all over the entire lid just to even everything out. It's a nice base step just to kind of, you know, brighten up the eye, make everything look nice and even. Here we go. So now that we're even, I'm going to go back through, use a little more of a highlight color. I'm gonna use some cool tones today, but you could do any type of color. Really, the main thing with this Kim look is accentuating your eye shape. So I'm just kind of putting this slightly shimmery, cool tone shadow all over the lid. Not really going above the crease right now, just to get a base of a little bit of color on there. And shimmer is nice too, because it kind of catches the light. I like both shimmer and matte, so you can play with either. And I'm just kind of tapping it on. Shadows that are a little more shimmery can tend to be a little more loose, so you want to use this kind of like tap or rolling technique. So now we're gonna go back through and add a little bit of definition. I'm going to use some gray colors. I'm gonna start with mushroom. This one's a little bit lighter, and then we're gonna build to darker colors. And I'm gonna start kind of in the crease area. And if you get a little fallout, no worries. You can just use a nice fluffy brush it off as you're going so it doesn't create more of a mess. And we'll just clean it up at the end. Just like that. It's normal. And the color that I'm using now is from the Urban Decay Smoked palette. And the color that I used before was from the Stila in the Garden palette. And these palettes are really nice too, because you can get any type of daytime, nighttime look from either of them. I love having some good palettes in your regimen at home. I'm gonna play up this shape, and I'm gonna blend this a little bit upwards towards the brow. And a lot of the look she does is very lifted, especially from this area. So we're gonna kind of draw this upwards, just like that. It's almost like you're making a line from the end of your lash to the end of your eyebrow. Okay, now I'm going to use a little bit of a darker color. I'm gonna use the Asphalt color from this palette. It's a deeper gray. So I'm just kind of continuing to put this in the crease, but it's intensifying the depth a little bit more. I'm gonna play up this little area over here. And this is just kind of making the look a little bit more smoky. It's very wearable. A little bit more right here, since we're intensifying that. And always blend it inwards. So I'm gonna go back and use a bit of the mushroom again, just to kind of blend things. Just putting that right along the crease, but a little bit below it, just to blend those colors in. When you're putting these shadows on, you don't want to go too far up to the brow bone. She really likes to kind of highlight her brows. And now I will blend out with the lighter color. I'm using the first color that we applied, actually, Kinky. And I like to do a little bit right here and just kind of sweep it up. It cleans that look right there. Perfect. Do a little bit right on the top of, like where your pupil would be while your eye is closed, just a highlight right there. And I just kind of tap it in, since it's a very small area that we're applying it, and I want a lot of concentration of the color. I'm gonna kind of clean up underneath the eye, since it's a little bit smoky and we had some fallout. So you just want to make sure it's nice and clean, but it actually works because we're going to go back and highlight right here, because that's a very Kim thing to do. But before we highlight, I want to add a little bit of the smokiness underneath the eye so that we can clean that all up at the same time later. Okay, So how I'm gonna add the smokiness is just to use a smudge brush and a little bit of black shadow. I'm gonna add this in, starting at the outer corner and working our way over. And we don't wanna close off the eye too much, so I'm not gonna go too far into this center area. Just gonna kind of lightly bring it in. It's not too thick. It's definitely not like a regular liner. It's gonna have a little more of that kind of smoky effect. I'm gonna bring this up a little bit, right here. You can even bring this black up and continue with the line that we had created, and a little bit into the crease on this side, a little bit over in this corner. Continue giving it a little definition. Okay, and one other thing that Kim does that's really nice is she uses a little bit of inner rim brightener. I'm actually gonna use a flesh toned liner. Basically, you just kind of pull the lid down like this, apply. This looks great on camera because it really opens up the eyes. And it's nice that we did a little bit more intense underneath, and this not quite as intense on the inside because it doesn't close her eye off. It actually intensifies and opens it up. So next, I'm gonna do a little bit of liner. She doesn't usually do a winged look. We're just gonna do a basic simple liner right on the top of the lash line just to make the lash line look a little thicker. So I just have a very thin brush here and a Laura Mercier cream eyeliner. What I'm gonna do is take a little bit with the tip of my brush, scrape it off, and then go right on the lash line and just start filling it in. You don't have to think about making a very thick line, just kind of go as thin as possible first. It really just adds to the balance of the eye and frames it a little bit more if you have a little liner up here. And I feel like cream liner isn't quite as harsh as liquid liner can be. You can make it thinner, thicker. You really can play a lot with the cream liner. And it does go a little bit thinner on the inner corner and work larger to the outer corner. So we're not really doing a wing. You want to make sure it's connected down over here. I'm going to go over the highlight that we had been speaking about. And it just kind of cleans up the line of the eye too. So she usually uses a pretty bright color. This highlight might look intense now, but once you add contour and blush and everything else, it really just kind of makes the look cohesive. So I'm kind of making a line here with the concealer just to kind of clean this line up over here that we had been working on. Blending it down and out. So the last step to getting your Kim K look is applying some kind of piecey, spidery type eyelashes. If you want to know exactly how to apply these, you can watch the other video that's in my series, but we're just kind of placing these on right now. So as we had seen before, we did the nice kind of accentuated smoky eye. We really played up the eye shape. And then I also added a nice nude lip because Kim loves a nude lip. So as I'm applying this on, I'm gonna let it dry, and then I'm gonna reapply a little bit of black liner right over top just to kind of get it right where it needs to be. Kind of push these lashes up a little because Kim loves her big lashes. And that is how you do a Kim K smoky eye.